is going on, guys? And today I am here with my first ever tutorial. And basically what the tutorial is going to be is like the intro you saw in the beginning right here as well. I will show it real fast. It's basically going to be how to make one of these. You're going to need three programs. You're going to need Vegas Pro, or you could use any editing program, but it has to support PNGs and all that stuff, all that good stuff. Basically, it just has to support transparency and yeah. And then you're also going to need Adobe After Effects and Adobe Photoshop. What we're going to do is we're going to start off in Photoshop. So you're going to want to open that, and this should be no problem. This should just be ready, opening, all that stuff. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a new file, new. You're going to make it 1920 by 1080. Make sure your color mode is 8-bit, and this is pixels by inch. You can name it whatever you want, and just click OK. So basically here, you're going to want to add a new layer, and you'll see that down here in the bottom right. And then you're going to want to remove the background layer. Basically, what that does is makes it transparent for whatever you do. For the text, I'm going to be using Molot, and Molot is a good text just because it's easy to use, and it looks very nice, as you can see there. I'm going to do tutorial, and what we're going to do is we're going to make the color white, just to show you that this works perfectly. And you're going to do Control A, and then up at the top you will see when you have the moving tool selected, you want to click the second one and the second one. What this will do is will center your text. Basically, this tutorial is going to be just a bunch of blending options for the text. It's very easy. You're going to want to go into gradient. You're going to want to turn the opacity sort of down, and I'm just going to do 50-50. As you can see in the bottom right, it does say 50%, 50% for whatever you click. You're going to want to leave it like this, as it doesn't look that good right now, but it will. And you're going to want to do stroke. You're going to want to choose either inside, center, or outside. I personally like the center, and I usually make it around 6 as my size. The blend mode is normal, and the fill type is black, and that's color. So we're also going to go into inner glow real fast. We're going to make the opacity 100%. We're going to make the size a decent size. The choke you want to keep sort of down, but as you can see, if you turn this up way too much, you won't be able to see anything. The choke, you're going to want to do, as you can see what the choke does, it does that. So you want to make it like 2 or 3. 2 or 3 isn't that bad of a number. Opacity, you could actually choose whatever you really wanted, but I'm going to be doing this. Gradient, you're going to want to turn that down a little bit more, and then I usually put on some bevel and emboss, and I'll do no depth, but the size I'll turn up, and the soften I'll turn up. It doesn't do much, but it still makes a little bit of an effect. For the drop shadow, you want to turn it to 100, distance all the way down, spread decent size, and basically you want to make the spread around 40ish, something like this, but you don't want it to be 100% like this, I guess you could say. You can mess with all the settings, but as you can see, that looks like some pretty nice text. You can still change the color to whatever you want. I'm going to just make this like a lighter blue just to show you. As you can see, a lighter blue. And that looks like really good text just to start off with. So what we're going to do is we're going to do File, Save As, go to our desktop, and what we're going to do is we're going to save it as text, and you want to make it .png, and small is slow, and it will save. We're going to leave this in the background just in case you want to make any changes, and there's our text. So now you're going to want to open Adobe After Effects, which I have a problem with mine right now, so we're gonna have to wait. I'm going to alrighty, sorry about that, it was just a quick technical error. But now that we have finished our text and you can see that it's still finished, I had to reinstall my After Effects, so I don't know what it's going to do when it starts up, but I had to. That was the only way for it to fix. I've been having this bug with After Effects for a while now, but I installed a completely different version, so let's see if that worked out a little bit better. I installed CS6 instead of CSS. It should be still the same thing, just better for a more good types of computers, I guess you could say. And we're gonna click never again because we don't care. And it should just start up, I believe. Alright, there we go. It has officially started up. You're going to want to have your effects and presets set up. I don't really need these things, but I could use them if I really wanted to. But you're going to want to have that set up mainly because you're going to need to have that for a later step. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our text PNG and we're going to put sorry about that. We're going to place it in here and we're going to do composition, new composition. It's going to be 1920 by 1080. The frame rate is going to be 60.00 because that is going to be the new YouTube frame rate. That's what it supports it now. So what we're going to do is we're going to rename it tutorial, make sure the background color is black, and click OK. So just to make sure it's transparent, you see a little button down here. If you see that I'm highlighting over, it says toggle transparency grid, and you're going to click that. As you can see, it's here, and yeah. Now you're going to grab your text PNG and you're going to drag it down and just place it. Make sure it should just snap to lock perfectly fine. And if you want a kind of intro like mine, you're going to need to start off with it pretty low. You're going to want to remember this number though. You're going to want to go to your transform. You're going to want to remember 100, 100. It's pretty self-explanatory though. If you want my type of intro, you're going to want to go down here. You're going to want to make sure it is facing the right way, which is like that. Just make it as small as you really think it can go, which mine can go about that small. As you can see, it's pretty small. So what you're going to come down here is this whole tutorial is basically like a whole keyframing, I guess you could say. You're going to come down to where it says scale. And you're going to click this like little clock thing and make sure that the keyframe is here. You're not going to want a lengthy intro. You're going to maybe make it 2 seconds. So I just messed up completely. Where's the thing? And basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get to where your intro is going to end. You're going to want to press N, go to where it begins, press B, come up to here, and click trim comp to work area. And that's what it will do. It will be a 4-second long intro. I'm just going to make it 4 seconds just so I can show you guys. We're going to go about 30 frames in, and we're going to place another keyframe. And I don't know why I didn't add it. Okay, there we go. So basically now what this is going to do is we're going to bring this up all the way back to 100%, 100%, which is right there, exactly. So now if we go back and we play this from the start, that's basically what it looks like. When you render this out completely, it basically will just zoom in and stop there. So now you're going to want to do a few things with this. You might want to make it faster, so you could drag this keyframe about halfway, test what it looks like there. I think it's, in my opinion, it's perfectly okay, as slow as it goes. Some people prefer a more fast intro, which that I could completely agree with, but it doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. And you're going to want to go to the last frame, and I mean this by exactly the last frame. You're going to want to add a keyframe for scale, and you're going to want to just maybe increase it like 5 each way. So right about there. Because what this will do is whenever you watch, it will play, and you'll see how it keeps going. Unless you want to do something like drag your keyframe maybe about 45 frames in. What that will do is it will just keep going in until it hits that keyframe, and then it will stop. There's a few things you could do. I'm going to add a scale to make it go down, I guess you could say, once it hits there. But what we want to do is we want to have a keyframe and then move on over to the next 5th frame and then add another scale, and basically you just want to zoom it down very quickly. And what this will do is once it hits that keyframe, it's going to just whoop and zoom out. So basically, let's put it in a little bit of slow motion. It will just and then just go straight down. You're going to want to do a few things if you want it to poof. I guess you could say like poof out of thin air. You might want to zoom in a little bit more, make it really small. Like, it's really up to you. You want to experiment, yeah, English. You want to experiment a lot on what you do and your type of intro. You don't want to just copy other people's. As you can see, it's basically gone. You can't even see it in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it out a little bit. And now if we replay this from the start, it will just pop in there and it will slowly come in at you. Once it hits there, it will just zoom out, as you can see. And we'll add like a few effects for it, and we'll just poof and gone. Basically, you want to add that to the end, mainly because you do not want it to have like any, what is the word I'm trying to think of? You do not want it to stay on there and just all of a sudden poof out when you're editing your video. You don't want it to just disappear instantly and just go straight to your video. You want it to be something like this. And basically why I'm saying this is because it will just make your intro look 10 times better. But now we're going to be adding a quick little thing, I guess you could say. So since it starts shrinking about around 30 and it finishes gaining up, which you can actually see right here, which is easier, finishes gaining up around here, we're going to actually add a shine effect on it. I don't know if you guys want one of these, it's really up to you, but what you're going to want to do is you want to come up to Layer, New, Solid. You're going to want to click Color, make the color white, click Make Comp Size, and you're going to do Shine, and click OK. You're going to want to make another layer of these, so I just copied it by holding Control and pressing D, and I'm going to rename mine so I know text.png2. So basically I know, and I'm going to drag it up. You want to pretty much center the shine into the center, and now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come to where your actual thing stops, because why I'm saying like where it stops growing, why I'm saying that is because if it's still growing while you're doing it, it's kind of a big problem, I guess you could say. But you want to finish all your effects before you add this. You're going to want to come up to your rotate tool. I'm going to add a few little things in there, but I think that should be fine. Basically what it's going to do is it's just going to highlight over, but you're not going to be able to see the white bars because of what we're about to do now. So come into your Effects and Presets button if you don't have this. Click Window, scroll down to Effects and Presets. You could just press Control and 5. This should pop up. I usually lock it down to my bar, and you want to type in Blur. It should be, you need Fast Blur. Fast Blur, it should have just been popping up for me, but it didn't, I don't know why. You want to drag it to where Shine says, and basically up in the top right hand corner you will see where this pops up. So now if you look at this shine, the white box we made, it's slowly getting blurrier, and that's what you want. You want to be able to sort of see through it, but you don't want to. If you're making a 1920 by 1080, I recommend doing 1000 blurriness for this. But now the next step you're going to want to do is come to where it says parent. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I forgot how to get this. You want to click toggle switches / modes. You want to go down, it should be here, it should be a trick mat. You want to go to trick mat and click alpha mat text.png2. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to kind of just make a mask so it only shows up on top of the text. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do keyframing, and keyframing is basically going to make it so it shines all the way across perfectly. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into transform. We're going to try and get both of these keyframes up, so we're going to shorten that just so we can see both of them. You're going to want it to the position, sorry. Went blank there for a second. You're gonna want to do your position. Make sure it's off the text for the first position. Come maybe like a few frames in and add another keyframe. And basically hold shift while you're doing this so it's a straight line, and you'll see that it basically drags it across, and that's the path it's gonna follow. So if you come back and you click play, you ignore the red line, that's not gonna show up. It's basically just gonna go across. So I'll quickly show this again without the red line so you don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to, I don't know why this isn't as big as it can, there we go. And you're going to click, I'm going to click play, and it should just pop up, and you'll see the shine go across, as you can see. You can change it to basically whatever you want. I'm leaving it as the shine, and yeah. And the shine, you can make faster by shortening the amount of times the frames are. So you can go like this, and it will go a little bit faster through, as you can see. And now basically that's how you make the intro. I'm going to show you guys a quick way to render it, which you do by doing Command and M or Control and M, whatever you're on. I'm on a Windows computer, so you could do it on Mac, anything like that. You're going to go to Output Mode Module, and you're going to make sure that the format is AVI, the channels are RGB alpha, and the color is pre-multiplied matted, in parentheses. Click OK. Share it or put it to wherever you want it to be. I'm going to make it tutorial.avi and share it to my desktop. It should just save to my desktop once I do this. And then it will say output 2, log errors only, best settings. You just want to make best full 1920. You don't need to really mess with anything in here except for frame rate unless you want to make it higher. And now just click render, but we're not done yet. Basically, if you would click render, it would just render this out. This is what we've made so far, and that's basically not much. It's just a quick little intro just to show you off your channel. We're gonna actually bring in a bit of effects. So I'm gonna come into here and we're gonna go into sound effects. I have tons of effects just saved up. So basically like I use a punch.mp3 and we're just gonna drag it up to here. It should be in project. As you can see, it's saved to punch.mp3. We're going to drag it down to here. We don't want another text. We do not want one. We want a punch.mp3. That's it. So we're going to drag it up to the top. And basically what we're going to end up doing here is we're going to find out where the keyframe, or not the keyframe, where the last key is, where it finishes going until it starts zooming in more. So basically that is going to be right here. If you want to find it, it's easy, just do that. And now you're going to want to go to your audio, turn on the waveform. If you're using like something like I am, like a punch effect, you're going to want to find where the waves are, the audio waves, and you're going to want to put them lined up with that keyframe. So now when you click play, it's going to play it. Mine's not appearing. I don't know why my effect isn't working, but it should. I don't know why it's not. My audio's not working. This is weird. It usually works, I swear. My audio isn't popping up, I guess. I don't know why, but it should usually pop up. I did have this when I first started using this program, but now since I've had to reinstall it, it's being a little bit weird, I guess you could say. But it's not that big of a deal. Usually it should just appear and fix itself once you actually render it out, but it's not working out so well right now. It's not working. I cannot hear it, but usually it does work. Let me try and click off, maybe click here. Yeah, see, it's not working. Don't know why, honestly. It's being a bit weird. Let me try and figure out a fix for this real fast, and I'll be back with you guys. Okay, basically I found a fix for it. We're gonna go into our rendering, We're gonna go into output modules, and down here audio output is off clearly, so that is the problem I'm having. My audio was off, so now we're gonna click OK, and now once we head back into here, when we click play, we should be able to hear it no problem. That did not work. That was a fail. But okay, that should work usually. I don't know why it's not. It's being kind of stupid, but it's okay. Once you actually render out your video, it should be fine. So it's being weird, I guess you could say right now. I don't know really what the problem is with it, but that should be fixed to it. But it's not working out so well. So we're gonna head back to our tutorial. We're going to play, and I'll quickly show you guys what this effect is. Basically, it just does that, and yeah, it should be perfectly fine. It honestly should be. Don't know why it's not working, but it's okay. Anyways, we're going to want to, since it's lined up now, we're going to actually add another effect in here. As you can see, when this shine happens, it's at this frame exactly, and I just clicked the wrong thing. I'm gonna go back to that frame. Actually, it might not be at this frame. Yeah, I know it's not at this frame. Okay, why is it going backwards? Yeah, keep going. That's weird. Alright. What? I do not understand. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's fixed. That's weird. So the keyframe, or the keyframe, that's where this happens, is our shine, and it starts here. So basically what I'm going to get is another effect. I shouldn't have closed out of this. We're going to get a fast whoosh, and I don't know if you could hear it. It was pretty quiet, but it made a whoosh sound. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag this into the same spot, and we're going to drag it down here. It should just appear. We're going to want to keep this one open, and we're going to go into fast whoosh audio waveform, and we're going to find where the whoosh will start, which should be right about here, and that should be lined up perfectly with the keyframe. So now that should be some audio with it. You could do a lot. You could do rotating keyframes. There's tons of stuff you could actually do, but I'm not going to do that right now. And what we're going to render this out just to show you that it does work. So make sure everything's set still to the regular, what it should be, and it should render out and should make a cool noise once it renders. So we're going to wait for that. It shouldn't take very long. But since you're rendering it as an AVI and a alpha plus RGB, it will take up a lot more space than it should, in my opinion, but it's okay. And there's that noise, and it should be right here. Let's see if the audio worked. And it's not opening for me. Come on. Yep, audio worked. And we're gonna restart because it's being a bit laggy right now. Of course. There you go. It's being a bit laggy, but it's all good. Should be fine once we go into our rendering. We're actually going to save it as tutorial real fast. Tutorial.advanced After Effects. Just save it just in case, just so I can close out of it and not have lag. We're gonna quickly play it again just to show you that it is, in fact, the audio and everything's fine. It's being a bit laggy. What we're just gonna do is we're going to open up Vegas Pro, which is an editing software. I highly recommend. You could use After Effects for your editing, but in my opinion, I don't really like After Effects for editing. I've been sticking to Vegas Pro for a while now. And we're going to File, Open. I'm going to just play my more recent video, and we're just going to cut it to a little bit in here, I'd say probably about that much is good. We're going to ungroup them and delete this, insert a new video track, just to show you that this does work. We're going to go into here, we're going to find, wants to get on my, there we go. We're going to click that. It should pop up in your thing if you drag it in there. Drag it into your video. Right click, as you can see right now, it's not overlaid. Right click, properties, media, alpha channel, pre-multiplied, and now if you click play from start, it should just pop up and the audio should be with it. And then you could add a fade in, really doesn't matter. You can mess around with all these things. And there's that. I don't really like to fade in for this though, since it's kind of faded in already with how we made it. And yeah, there we go. Click one more time. And as you can see, it's got all the audio with it. And yeah, so that's that. If you guys did enjoy this video, please smash that like button. I will do tons of tutorials if you guys want them. I will do like editing, I will do effects for editing, all this types of things that I could just go through and show you guys. But you guys gotta show me that support. Subscribe if you want to see more, like if you enjoyed and it was helpful, and comment down below what tutorial you want to see next. Peace out, guys.